This is SportsCenter with Elle Duncan.
Welcome into SportsCenter. We are taking you all the way up to first pitch of LSU in Tennessee in our losers bracket game. Oral Roberts heading home, TCU moving on. We've also got a jam-packed show for you with the NFL's crackdown on player gambling, as well as a potential rebuild for the Warriors, plus complete NBA draft coverage as well. But first, we send things back out to Mike Monaco and company, who are joining us from Omaha. That, as promised, Pro Bowl corner Joe Hayden. Certainly, DeAndre Hopkins has made life quite difficult for other people of your ilk, but I want you to tell me, based on people that you've actually matched up against, the toughest receivers that you had to cover in your career.
Okay.
Start with number 5.
I'm going to start with number 5.
Okay, catches that he ever had against you?
Oh, my God. Why do you do that? I don't
You know?
No, I don't know.
It's only one.
Only one?
And you know what it was?
What?
It was a screen pass.
Thank you.
October, exactly. So you're off the hook. October 3rd, 2021. That's research, baby. That's what we do, Joe Hayden.
Oh, okay. There you go. Thank you.
Joe Hayden with his top 5 receivers that he covered in his illustrious 12-year career. Thanks for joining us here on SportsCenter, Joe.
Thank you.
To women's hoops, UConn and Coach Gino Auriemma had to play all last season without their star Paige Beckers, who was rehabbing a torn ACL. Despite that, the Huskies still made it to the Sweet 16. But man, what could they have done with the former National Player of the Year? Well, Auriemma says that Beckers is 90% healed and should be ready for the start of this season, but in true Gino fashion, he doesn't want to hear the hyperbole of what a healthy UConn squad could be. I love it here. If he would have thrown in a rat poison, I would have mistook him for Nick Saban. Expectations are certainly high for the Huskies next season, though. 5-1 to win the national title, second shortest odds in the country. In fact, the only team with shorter odds, defending champion LSU, who added former Louisville star Haley Van Lith this offseason. It's lit. Tim Legler, who's always integral to what we do here as well. We just saw that Draymond has agreed to a lot of team-friendly deals before in the past, and that's helped lead to some of that disparity. So how do you see the Warriors approaching this, knowing he wants to stay there, but that he's also 33 years old, Legs? He also has a big load, right? Green ranks in the top 10 in total minutes played since the 2014-15 season, so he may be getting older, but he's still being productive and staying on the court. When it comes to the rest of the roster, though, we heard Mike Dunleavy also say he doesn't think that there are many other decisions to make, but rather things to consider. So what's imperative that Golden State should be considering? So tough, right? It was year 1 of his 4-year, $123 million extension. Certainly looked a little bit lost in the postseason, couldn't find a rhythm. He says it's because of a role change. We'll certainly see what happens there. But Golden State not the only team that's sort of potentially facing some changes or issues. We see down in the desert, Phoenix, they had Bradley Beal to go along with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Where do they stand to you in the Western Conference rankings right now? As well, new coach, right? Like there's a lot of new factors when it comes to Phoenix, but we're all really salivating at potentially that offensive onslaught we could see. Phoenix hasn't had 3 20-point scorers in the same season since the 80s. When you shows up, we're just over 48 hours away, and all signs are sort of pointing that at that number 2 pick, Brandon Miller is going to go to Charlotte. Tell me why he slots in well with LaMelo Ball. Players in Alabama history. We'll see if he can do that. And Jonathan, give me 1 second, because I mentioned brothers, and identical twins, Amin and Asar Thompson, are expected to be the first siblings to go top 10 in the same draft. The 20-year-olds have always played together, but that's likely going to change on Thursday. I want you to hear in their words what separates them. That's going to do it for this edition of SportsCenter. We'll get you out to Omaha next for LSU and Tennessee, and we'll see you tomorrow.